Hello again, this is the Waterman, Spiritual Toolbox number 88, the Love Chapter number 64, Audio Recording number 406, and Examination Table number 68. We'll be continuing with the little side thing here on Hebrews chapter 12, and I read verse 28 and just touched a little bit on those last few words, and started on verse 29. Now I'm going to open that up some more, okay? Before I head back out of the base of this from that 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and I'll be in verse 6 on that next. Now, in the King James language, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 29 says, "For our God is a consuming fire." Okay, let's break this down some. Okay, I done told you like that word "for" is coming from this 2532. It's at KAI. That's a conjunction, like a joining thing that it means and then there's a word right after it, GAR number 1063. This word.
Strong's G, 1063,
Gar. And that could mean the cause, or it's in the Strong's, it's assigning a reason used in an argument, explanation, or intensification. Okay? And in the Thayers, it's going in and saying more. It's saying, the fact is, or that's a fact, Jack, as my one buddy says all the time. So it's saying this stuff before, that God is, reverence God and be in awe of God, right? Respect, honor, praise, adoration, understand that God is the great hero. God's not a monster and stuff that throw you in the hell and all that crap. Not a serial killer that's beyond any other serial killer that could ever do anything like the one all the other serial killers could look up to. No. Not in that sense. This is the fact is, it says like, and it's joining, you reverence God. You understand that God is love beyond words. Okay? He brings you all the way through these eyes of the needle in each and every thought process like a ball. Each one of those thought processes is areas in your thinking, in a person's thinking, is like a ball, and he's chopping it out and then turning it inside out, so to speak, refining out, melting out those impurities. It's up to the top and then skimming them off. It's like asking you, shall we karate chop this board or karate chop this ball, this area? If you're thinking this area of this thought process in you, shall we cut that out? And does that and turns it and turns it and turns it. Keeps chopping as you exist, agree, back into him, back all the way in, and that's why in him. Relying upon him totally and in total agreement with him. He's transforming your thinking processes through that eye of the needle, right back in and that's why in him. Back thinking the exact same way as he does. But it's a long road. And it's chop this out, chop it out, chop it out. When it gets so deep down all the way around it, like chops out something, then it starts refining it. Said others through the consuming fire, burning up that garbage. Chop it out, put it like in a wood pile and burn that stuff up with this consuming fire, and it's transformed always in the upper manner from fleshly thinking back up in like the spiritual thinking. Okay, through much heat and much pressure. The word for pressure, they translate as calamities, tribulation, all this stuff, is thalipsis, okay? Just like in John chapter 16, verse 33, where it says, in the world, in this orderly arrangement in the mind of humanity, in your thinking process, there must be tribulation. That's thalipsis. It's pressure, tribulations, calamities, all this stuff. But be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. He's overcome all that stinking thinking. He sent his pattern son to show you Jesus. And even in the name, Jesus Christ, Jesus, I-E-S-O-U-S, it means Yahweh is salvation. In the precise, correct timing of God. Not just saying Jehovah or Yehovah. You gotta take out those vowels. It's precisely and correctly. Right when God says, right whenever he does it. You gotta agree. Can't say, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Or way out in the future, I'll do it. Or I'll do it right before I die. Right now, I'm enjoying myself too much in this stinking poopy thing. Of my own self. Letting it be in control of my seeing, hearing, taste, sense, and smell. Because I'm having a good time. I'm grandiose. And I'm making it bigger and bigger and bigger. Getting farther and farther and farther off the mark. Off that pipeline. That love beyond words. No, that's not acceptable. Absolutely not. Ooh, yuck. Right? O-U. Let's pronounce ooh. Okay? Now, let's tie it together a little bit. Now, so this, in the Thayers, this gar could be translated just because, but if you go, you could use it like in an argument or something, and between the carnal mind, the non-spiritual mind within us, and the Spirit of God, they're enmity. They're at war with each other. They're directly opposing. So your old stinking thinking is wrong. Doing about face 180 degrees. It's going in the wrong direction. Turn. Change the way you think and go 180 degrees. In total opposite direction. Shoot your arrows. Back your efforts. Back towards the mind of God. Back you're pursuing, going right back E-N and S-Y in God. It's a long way through there, though. It's chop, and then refine. That stuff out. Skim. Okay? God is consuming fire, God is refining fire. And I'm showing you here. Okay? So in the Thayers, it's saying this gar, that they're not even translating here, but they put four, but they kind of put in, they use like 3 words there. Let's show it. Okay? So the first one's Kai, and it's and it's gar. And it's, the fact is, and then it right here, thus the force of this particle is either conclusive, demonstrative, explicative, or declaratory. Okay? Conclusive, if you define that out, just a minute. Conclusive, if you define that out, is serving to settle a question. The question is, God for me or is he against me? God gonna throw me in hell and punish me? No. I'm answering that. I can't understand it. Yuck, that's yucky poo. Okay? Or is God my exceeding great reward, like it says in Genesis 15:1. He told Abraham he's the same as Abram then. God's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He changes not. God is faithful. He's constant. He loves you. He loves that Christ in us. God cannot deny himself. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 13, okay? All right, now. So this is also the fact is, right? This gar here. The fact is, and then it's conclusive. It's serving to settle the question. Okay? You're getting questioned in the eye of these storms, right? All these pressures, fire trials, and all this stuff happening in our lives, and God brings you to this still spot. You got to make a choice to agree with God or to disagree. This is like, let this settle it. Okay? And demonstrative means to make evident or establish. The fact is that this settle it and then demonstrate it. This settles it, right? Okay? Do you agree or disagree with God? Now, explicative. Fully and clearly expressed or demonstrated, leaving nothing implied. Through all these storms of life and all this stuff, and you're getting the pressure put to you. You're getting load tested. Your bridge is getting load tested. That rope that's been braiding it, or maybe it's still just a little strand, is getting load tested. And see what it'll take. By God. God's sending these storms. Not some monster, fictitious monster out there and all this stuff. Okay? Now, God is leaving nothing. I got here in the notes, it's kind of explanation here. I got it in orange, which I associate orange with like love, okay? It's God's love beyond words, okay? God is leaving nothing unclear about his love for one internally. This thinking process. He's going to get it. Said, I lost none. We don't got that sheep, that one lost sheep. There's the 99, and he didn't lose none. He's telling you, out of all of them, all of humanity, he really isn't losing any. He's putting them in the body, in his mind, in his thought processes, right exactly where he decided. He just turned up the heat and stuff till you go. Change right back into his right-mindedness. Oh, repent from that. Not just say, I'm sorry, and then go out and keep doing whatever you wanted. Okay? You just think, oh, I got a free will, I can do that. Well, only free will you got it. When are you going to give up? When are you going to change the way you think? And get this exceeding great reward. Over and over and over, and stay in it. Stay in it, so you go all in, and then God's holding you. And this other stuff just doesn't. It's trash. It's vanity, hopelessness, transitory, temporary and unsatisfactory, okay? Bullshit. Worthless and detestable. Okay? Sodom and Gomorrah, it's burnt and ruined or ashes. Yuck. Ain't nothing good in that. I don't want none of that stuff. I'm going to the Father. Alright. Now, see here it says, I wrote, God is leaving nothing unclear about his love for us, for one, internally. God is faithful to remove, burn, consume the garbage thinking and that baggage thinking. You know, your carnality, your own right-mindedness, make you give up on that and then burn it up when you agree in hot pursuit. Okay? And then returning one to his love beyond words, back in that thinking, get your mind right. You gotta stay, exist. Okay? And we merely have to agree repeatedly from out of, exist repeatedly from out of that old stinking thinking to, towards, into, and in, and that's right. The battle's the Lord's. It's not ours. We just agree, yes sir, that is, get it, yeah. and then consume that crap up. Turn my inside out. Inside of this thinking process. Turn it, boil it up. Bring that stuff out. And chop it. Skim that stuff out of there too. Leave it pure gold. Pure God's thinking inside you. Coming right back all the way in, and that's why in that nucleus of Adam, where God is holding you stronger, much more securely. God is your refuge. God is your strength. God is your high tower. He's holding you much more securely than even the strong nuclear force, which has the shortest range. You got to be really, really close in that mind of God. You got to be right on it. They bouncing inside that pipeline. It's in God's love. Resting, relying. It's God's way, not my way. You could request, Father, please, remove this cup from me. I don't really want to do this, but nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. It's not my choice. Yes, sir, I'll do it. I trust you. All right? Not looking for an opportunity to go, I told you I was just not going to everything going to hell in the handbasket. Oh, you're not in. Yeah, that's that carnal stinking thinking. Get your sock out and your duct tape. Duct tape, shut that daggone thing up. Okay? Hee-hawing donkey, barking alpha dog, that messed up parakeet. It's a stinky snake. Call it a stinky snake. False accuser and imposter of light and a false accuser. They're all just bullcrap. It's speaking. That's just kind of demonstrate that stuff's just poop thinking. It's that ego trying to control you from inside of you. And then trying to say, put the thing out there, point the finger out there at some monster or something. It's about as powerful as God. Try to put a little bit of imposturing of light. And then just as lambasting you, throwing rocks. And then at the moment that you trip up at this little thing, it'll tear you down. But it's off the mark. The mark is that pipeline of God. That love beyond words. Okay? Now it's declaratory is serving to declare or explain. So now let's go back up here to this. Let me see, right here. I define those words under gar, and it's the fact is, it's what's meaning, and it's thus the force of this particle that gar, okay? It can be because, but it's going much deeper explaining this, okay? The fact is, it's saying the fact is, okay? And it's doing this in a way that it's conclusive, demonstrative, explicative, and declaratory. Just like he's chopping that stuff out of the ball. And then he's refining, turning the inside out, bulling that stuff out. Those hard metals that you can't already chop metal out in the natural, can you? Take the daggone axe, bam, try to bust that, boing, bounce off, right? Can't learn to do it. All right, now that word wasn't opened up there. They put 4 in the King James Version and let that cover K-A-I and then G-A-R, and then there's another word right after that that's not defined, not translated. I was looking for the word. Not translated into the King James language. Not put in the Bible. And it's one we've been over before. It's H-O. Ha. What's it say? Ha.
Strong's G 3588. Ha.
Ha. Ha. So 3 words there, and they didn't translate. They only translated it as 4. And ha is that definite article. It's thee or this one or that one. Speaking about that, like that little ball, that thought process or that area that God's working on internally. Your carnal mind doesn't want you to know nothing about that. No, it's a big devil out here, or a big monster out here doing it to you. Your loving Father is not doing this for you. Your spiritual parents, the ones you're originating from, oh, I let the cat out of the bag. Right? I mean, it's a big old dumb donkey there. In the morning, we're having waffles, right? We're having a big old pan of bull crap to eat. I'm going to shove it in your mouth. All right, it's just, it's sickening. It's a dummy. All right, don't be a dummy. All right, now, so we got 4, or this Kai. I think it's how I pronounce it.
Strong's G 2532. Kai.
Kai. It should be and, okay? And then Gar. Oops.
Strong's G 1063. Gar.
Okay? And that's because, or more definitely, the fact is, all right? There's done now. They defined it very good. Fact is, here, let me show you. Okay? And then, the fact is, this ball, this thought process, what God's doing in you. Okay? Now, this one also can be tied into this next word, theos. See, because when you're coming through the side of the needle, you're coming right back in and S-Y-N, God's right-mindedness, God's righteousness. God's holding you. This theos, the supreme divinity. They got translated just God. It's the supreme God, the one true God. God. Okay, now this is 23:16, okay? Theos.
Strong's G 23:16. Theos.
See, you're coming back in and being in union with, agreeing with that, like a S-Y-N. You're in agreement, in union with God's right-mindedness. See, that ball is coming back and not only being in, relying upon God, resting in God. Okay, you're following God. They're in that pipeline, in that love beyond words, in this area of your thinking. And God, the theos, the supreme divinity, it's your SY in that too. You're not only EN, but your SY in, and that's in union with. You're going, your thinking process going right into the self-existing one. You're existing, agreeing right through that eye of the needle, right back in and in union with God, S-Y-N. Coming one. God is one. You're coming right back in your mind. God's bringing you back in there. He is doing it. It's not by your might nor by your power, but it's by my spirit, says the Lord. You're coming back in and S-Y-N, God. One thought process at a time. One little ball. He's chopping it out. Okay? I did it rapidly right there, right? Or funny. Trying to be funny, but it's you're agreeing. Yes, sir. I agree. You're in hot pursuit. Oh, yeah. And then you're still doing it. Skim that stuff off. As he's consuming that outside, chopping it out, and then he's refining that inside out. Woo! Turning you inside out in that thinking process, that one little ball. And in doing that, it's increasing that seed of Christ that he put in there, and it's growing in greater glory, it's becoming heavier and heavier, denser water. It's gaining neutrons, like through experience, relationship with God, in him, and SYN. It's going right in there, and that baby's a heavy. Can't pick that thing up with their natural arm at all. Trying to pull it out of that. Impossible. My children hear my voice and the voice of another they will not listen to. And that's in each and every thought process. He's bringing you all the way through that eye of the needle. It's a narrowing path, right? A few are that'll find that. A few inside you, and a few in all humanity. Many will be out there destroyed. Just stay out there in their own crap thinking. Or only be allowed to go so far. That's God's decision. But then you got to make that decision in the eye of these storms. Agree. So in that sense, you're kind of, quit going around that mountain. Learn. Listen to me, my child. That's what God said. Be reasonable. Say it my way. Give up that old stinking thinking. Turn from it and come back to me. All right? Now, supreme divinity. Let me get more onto that one before I head out of time here, and then we'll go on more. Okay? So, and, that's Kai. Gar, that's the fact is, right? Ho, this one, that one, this one ball, this one thinking process is coming back in, and SYN in union with God. It's becoming one with God with this Theos, 23:16. Okay? THEOS, it's God. And it's a root word. Get here so it'll help, get some help. Come on, buddy. Alright. A masculine noun means supreme divinity with with that 3588. It's showing you as it's coming in this way, and you're going EN and SYN in union with God. It's also God is in union with you, because God's the one holding His power, His might, His righteousness. Okay, 3588 is that H-O. Okay. All right. Okay, let me see here. I got some notes here. The ball thinking within a person is being rejoined back. EN and SYN, God's righteousness, God's R. Not even the R with underlining and color-coded orange. So it's in His love beyond words, okay? The supreme divinity. It's just agree with and God, the supreme divinity, no matter what. Just like it says in the name Noah. Resting in God, no matter what. Do what He says. Okay, now. Let me see. Okay. The root from this theos is of uncertain affinity, a deity, especially with 3588, the supreme divinity. And 3588 is that definite article, H-O, okay? Now, okay. Now, let's go to the next word, and I'll start on it. I might be able to get it. Jump back here a couple times. So, we got Kai, Gar, and Ho. Well, I'm defining them in Theos. Got that one. Supreme divinity, okay? And then HEMON 2257, they translate it as hour.
Strong's G 2257. Hamon. Thayer's lexicon. Ego.
That's showing more what it's Hamon, HEMON, but it's really coming down to it's from your ego. EGO. God owns that thing. God owns you. Okay, now let's check this out more. Alright. Now, it's a pronoun. Okay, genitive case of a plural of 1473. We'll get there in a second or two, in a minute or two. It's, let's see here. Yeah, it's a genitive case of that one. I'll define that in a minute. Yeah, okay, it's a genitive case of 1473. And a genitive case expresses some relationship such as possession or origin. So God subjected you to this ego, this carnal mind, non-spiritual mind, this ego that's edging God out. He wanted to show you He's greater than this. Just agree with me, my child. I'll bring that stuff up in there. And it'll bring it, transform it right back in, and that's why in me. You'll join me in this love beyond words. Woo, baby. Now, at 1473 is this word right here. EGO.
Strong's G 1473. Ego.
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 Me, myself, and I. The first person. Only expressed emphatically. It's only. That's a big mouth. In other words, it's inside of you. Now we'll pick up here next time. I'm about to run out of time. That was Spiritual Toolbox number 88. I'll pick up there next time. All right. Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.